So we broke up. What do I do now? Hi ladies, my name is Michelle Diaz. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Most likely welcome back because I have not posted in a long time and a lot of stuff has happened, but I am back and today I want to touch on the subject of breakups because I see that a lot of girls go through breakups, and to some of you it could literally feel like the world is going to end. So if you are in that situation right now and you have no idea what you're going to do, I'm here to tell you that I am so excited for you because you're seeing this as the end of something. Me and many other people see it as the beginning of something new. You are out of this toxic relationship that you were in with a man that did not value you. Now you are free to attract your literal Prince Charming. If you would have stayed with this guy, you would never have the opportunity to meet another guy. I always tell you guys, don't let your boyfriend keep you from meeting your husband. So now you are more than free to attract the guy that you want and that is going to treat you the way that you want. If your ex did not want to marry you, if your ex did not want to do certain things for you, there's a guy out there that would be absolutely delighted to do these things for you. And now it's your chance to attract him. So in this video, I want to go through breakups in these different situations. I have a lot of teenagers that are still in high school that send me messages and are like, hey Michelle, I just broke up with my boyfriend, or my boyfriend broke up with me. Now what do I do? I have a lot of girls in college. Hey, I've been with this guy, my entire college career. Now that I'm going to go into the real world, like I don't know what to do. I have a lot of older women that have been in relationships with men for 10 years, right? They're now in their late 20s or their early 30s or their late 30s, and they have spent so much time with this man that they literally do not know what to do. So in every single one of these situations, I'm going to tell you what I would do and what I would have done if I had this advice when I was a teenager and when I was dating in my early 20s. So if you are a teen and you are going through a breakup, I'm really glad that you are. Because if you are a teen, I do not recommend you to date at all. Nobody. Why? Because you're a teenager, you're a child, literally. The person that you get with will not know how to take care of your heart, will not know how to take care of you emotionally. So a lot of these times, these boys will make you feel like you're the ugliest girl in the world. They will make you feel like you are worth nothing. They will make you feel like you are not worth anybody's time. So when we are teenagers, we take these things to heart. A lot of the times, these girls get into relationships with boys. They last up until the end of high school or even into college. And throughout all these years, these girls have been put through the ringer, right, by this guy, because this guy doesn't know how to take care of someone's heart. This guy doesn't know how to be that empathetic. He doesn't know how to put himself in your shoes. There's definitely teenage boys that might have those qualities depending on how they were raised. But let's be honest, a lot of boys don't care about learning those things or standing by those things in their teenage relationships. So I've had a lot of women that have had these type of relationships when they're teenagers, and it takes them their entire 20s to recover from it. You do not want that. You do not want someone to bring trauma into your life when you are the most prone to take it to heart and believe that it's something wrong with you, and then have to deal with it for years and years and years on end. And this thing will most likely ruin a lot of future relationships. It will most likely ruin your self-esteem, your confidence. I always say the only thing a teenage boy brings to your life, it's trauma. And I say this from the other perspective as well. You as a girl, as a teenager, you also don't know how to take care of someone. Yes, women have a lot more empathy than men, but I was one of those girls. I hurt a lot of boys in my time, and that was because I was insecure, because I didn't really care to take care of someone's heart, and because I didn't see these boys as like, oh my gosh, my husband, like I'm gonna love him forever. Like, no. And this is why I have a 12-year-old brother, and I always tell him, do not date. Don't date, because just like you don't know how to take care of someone's heart, these girls don't know how to take care of your heart. And just like how I would hate to see you break someone's heart, I would hate to see someone else break your heart. So now he says, like girls are a waste of time for now, and he would rather just have like close friends and all this stuff, which I'm really glad. So first of all, do not date. Do not consider getting into dating. Do not consider getting into relationships or sexually active. Be around boys. Be friends with boys. Be comfortable around boys. Be comfortable around masculine energy. I'm not telling you to completely stay away from boys and do not speak to them or anything like that. I want you to be comfortable around boys and around men. I want you to know how to act around boys and around men, because I feel like when you are like, oh, don't talk to me, don't get close to me, when it comes time for you to date, you can get very awkward or you can get very attached because you've never had that proximity to masculine energy in your life. So not dating does not mean no interaction with men. You can still have friends that are boys. You can still hang out with friends that are boys. But I would really recommend you not to get romantically involved with them. If you are in high school and you are going through a breakup, I would really recommend you to focus on your grades, focus on yourself, focus on your friendships, focus on the sports that you're doing. And if you're not doing anything or you don't have any hobbies, look for one. Look for something. If it is drawing, if it is painting, if it is running. A big reason why I was so into my toxic relationship when I was in high school is because I had nothing else to do. So if you dedicate your time to something that is going to make you grow and something that you enjoy, it will definitely keep you away from thinking about all of these boys and the potential relationships that you can have. If you have a family that you enjoy being around, spend time with your family. You're in high school, so you will most likely leave for college and you won't see them as much. If you didn't have a good experience in high school, then start preparing to have a better experience in college. Basically, focus on everything that has to do with you and forget about boys and forget about relationships. There is time for everything. You will literally have time to date your entire life. So if you do not date in this small period of time, the last period of time that you get to be a kid, you will be okay. And I feel like at the end of the day, you will thank me. Now, let's talk about my college girls. This, again, I told you guys when girls don't really have a lot of interaction with men, once they get to be around them, they go a little crazy, right? I have had girls that have gone to private schools where it's all girls or that were homeschooled. So when they got to college, it was like a buffet of men, right? A buffet of guys. And we know that everybody is very sexually experimental in college and all this stuff. I would recommend you to get a vibrator. I know. As women, I'm not going to pretend like we don't have any needs or we don't have any, like, it's literally human, you know? So a lot of the times when we are in this age, we can mistake a one-night stand for true love. You know what I mean? And guys in college, like, if anything, guys in college are worse than guys in high school. I feel like guys in college just have one goal in mind, and you know what that is. So I would say take care of yourself in that way for sure. I feel like it really clears your head and it will help you make better decisions. It will also help you at not rushing things sexually with guys. It will help you set standards, and it will help you stand on business. So what do we do now that we're in college and we've gone through a breakup? No, you do not go to the next Chad. No, you do not go to the next party and end up hugging the toilet at the end of the night. You are going to focus on your career. And you know what is the most exciting thing about this part of your life? Is that you finally get to create your own life. Your parents had you living and had you eating and had you doing things their way, right? Because you lived under their roof. But now it's your time. Now it's your time. You have control of your entire life, about what you eat, about what you watch, about who you hang out, about what you do in your free time. So it's time for you to put time into that. Are you gonna become healthier? Are you gonna become a gym girl? Are you gonna try to do a side hustle? What is it that you're trying to do? What life do you want to have? This is when, actually, you should be doing these since high school, but this is when you are able to really execute on your dream board, So if you want a certain car, you can start planning on how you're going to get that certain car. If you want a certain style, a certain lifestyle, a certain group of friends, this is your time for you to start working on it and crafting everything to the way that you want it. Why? Because you can. You are literally the boss of yourself and the boss of your life. You're the one that determines whether you end up in a good position or in a bad position, or in a bad position crying for a man, which is not what I want you ladies to do. College is a time where you should prioritize your female friendships. You know, these are girls that are going to be your bridesmaids. These women are going to come to your wedding. These women are going to play with your kids. These women are going to have kids that are going to be friends with your kids. These women are the ones that are going to be traveling with you when you're in your 40s. So it's very important to nurture your female relationships during this time. I would recommend you to save your money, to start investing in yourself. And when I say investing, I don't mean go out and buy yourself a Chanel bag. I mean start putting in time and effort into yourself, into your appearance, into how you're thinking, into what you're learning, into the friendships that you're around, into the hobbies that you're doing. Invest in yourself in every way that you can, but also don't go broke doing it, because I know that these times are the most like these are the times where you are most likely going to struggle the most, because college, you know, is hard and a lot of money goes into it and all this stuff. So just make sure that you're not letting go of yourself. And I have actually met so many girls that, because they were saving so much money throughout their college career, they learned how to do a lot of these things on their own. They learned to do their own nails, their own makeup, their own hair. So these girls always looked put together and on a budget. And for this time of your life, I will recommend you to become celibate. I will not judge you if you don't, but I would at least recommend you to try it. You know, try it and see how it benefits your life and how more clear it makes you think. And lastly, please travel with your girlfriends. Travel with your girlfriends or with your cousins or even with yourself. These are trips that are going to open up your mind so much. Guys, when I was in high school, a lot of you guys know that I was born and raised in Mexico, and then I moved to a very small town in Oklahoma where people just have, you know, very southern mindsets. And they're not worse or better than mine. They're just simply different. So when I moved, I felt very misplaced, and then I eventually got a boyfriend, and I thought that if we broke up, my life would literally be over, right? Because I was like, oh my gosh, there is literally nobody else in this town that I would date. So if I'm not dating him, like, what's gonna happen to me? Like, I guess being single was just like not an option, right? So I kept dating this guy, and eventually one day I get a message from my manager at the time, and she's like, hey, we want to manage you, and we want to like bring you to New York, and we're going to a beauty event called Generation Beauty in New York. I had been watching beauty videos. I knew what Generation Beauty was, so I was like, oh my gosh, yes, 100%, right? This agency took me to New York City, and then a few months later they took me to London, and they took me to Paris. These trips are what made me realize that there is way more to life and to the world than a high school boyfriend. I went to New York City and my mind just expanded like no other. Going to Europe, it was like, wow, like I don't have to stay in this town. I don't just have to date this one person. I literally have the entire world in my hands. I can do whatever it is that I want. When I was in London, I broke up with him, never looked back, have never looked back ever since. And I can tell you, I honestly don't know what would have been of me if I wouldn't have gone on those trips, if I wouldn't have been discovered, if my mind wouldn't have expanded. So please do yourself a favor and expand your own mind by traveling. Even if it is down to Mexico, like whatever it is, do it with your friends, do it with people that you trust and that you love and that are going to bring you good experiences. I actually do remember my very first girls trip was with my sister and with my cousin. And my mom actually paid this trip for us because she was like, I want you guys to travel on your own. Like, she knew how much your mind expands when you travel. So please do yourself that favor and travel. Travel the world, travel as much as you can, but also be safe. Be safe, because I can tell you that I was not being safe, and I have no idea how I'm not chained to somebody's basement right now. Oh, another thing is that if you have the opportunity to live by yourself, oh my gosh, do it. As a woman, that is the best experience that you, actually, I think every woman should experience this. I loved living by myself, and I'm so lucky that I got to experience it, and I really hope that you guys get to experience it as well. Having your own place. My entire apartment was pink. My entire apartment had the things that I loved, and everything was pink, and everything was just super girly, and every time I walked in I just felt like, oh, like this is my place. And I would love for you guys to experience the same thing. And stay away from situationships, please, I beg you. So now for my older ladies, which would be around my age, we're talking about, 25 and up. And in this situation, I'm gonna be talking about being 25 and up and having no kids. So I think the first thing that you should do when you get out of a breakup is to really recap on the past mistakes. So I understand that a lot of us can be victims in certain situations, but a lot of the times we allow ourselves to be victims for longer than we expect. So if that was the situation, if you saw so many red flags and you still decided to look past them because you really thought, this is the man that I want to marry and I want to be married and all this stuff, you need to take a look at your past mistakes. And yes, so many broke, dusty men will yell at the top of their lungs that a woman that pays bills and that is a ride or die is what they want. But what they don't tell you is that that is the woman they want to use. That is what they're not saying. So do not believe men when they tell you that, oh, I'm looking for a woman that is gonna, contribute and it's gonna build with me and that's gonna be a ride or die. That is literally just him trying to trap you. So before anything, you are going to look at your past mistakes, at your past, I've seen a lot of women on TikTok that are like, time to switch my type because I actually do want to get married. And that is them realizing that the men that they were going for, and a lot of these women have enough accountability to say, you know what? I chose the wrong men and I chose toxic men for some reason. It's time I stopped doing that. So when you allow yourself to be accountable and to say, you know what? I have been going after scammers. I have been going after older guys that don't respect me. I have been after younger guys that just use me for my money. See if you have a pattern. A lot of women don't have pattern. A lot of women just have very bad luck, and a lot of these women attract just the worst type of men. But a lot of the times, a lot of women prefer that toxic man, right? I've had so many women that have had to choose between the guy that is, maybe 5'8" and that is really nice and pays for everything and he's a provider and he's respectful, or the 6'4" guy that's a douchebag that doesn't have a job, that gets toxic, that gets his hands on you. And this has to do with how you were raised in your childhood trauma. This is so much deeper, so much deeper than you think. A lot of women have gone through very, very messed up things in their lives. And a lot of them have grown up in very toxic households. So at the end of the day, that is all they know. But I'm here to tell you that is not all there is. There are good men out there, and there are men that want to take care of you, that want to respect you, that want to get on one knee and ask you to be their wife for the rest of their life because you are the love of their life. That also exists. So now that you know that, I want you to make a list of all the things you do not want in your next relationship. a lot of the times we don't take our relationships as serious as we could, right? So we mentally keep a list of, I wouldn't date a bald guy, I wouldn't date a short guy. And that's where our list stops. So then we meet a guy that's tall and has great hair, and you're like, oh, he's the one. He is the one. Why? Because you are highlighting on the things that you do not want, which are very irrelevant, to be honest. Like, how is the guy having hair and being tall, how is that gonna make him a good husband for you? How is that gonna make him a good father? How is that gonna make him a good provider? How is he gonna give you good stability with that? How is he gonna make you happy with that? He can't do that. We need to be a little bit more serious, and we need to be a little bit more strategic with the way that we date. So that's what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to create an actual love list of, okay, I want this man to never raise his voice at me, to always respect me even if he's mad, to prioritize me and the family that he is creating, you know, things like that. Things that are actually going to serve you at the end of the day, not just aesthetically, but that are genuinely going to serve you in your life and with your future family. Once you have this list, you're going to start making a list for yourself. What boundaries and what standards do you need to work on? Did you ever have to end up paying for a guy's rent? If that's the case, put it down there. Create boundaries when it comes to giving men money. Or maybe you have a past of dating all broke men. So now you're gonna make a list for your standards, and you're going to put, have the standard of only dating men that are financially stable. Hold on. By saying financially stable, I'm not telling you to only go for guys that are millionaires. Realistic. I have never told you guys to only date rich men. I have never told you guys to only date men that are gonna gift you a Birkin in your first date. I've always told you guys to date men with a provider mindset, that are generous and that are hardworking. Why? Because that is the way that I was raised. That is what I saw in my father, and I see that that's what works. When I met my current fiance, that is what I saw in him. He was a hard worker, he was generous, and he had a provider mindset. That is what you need. You do not need the rich guy, because we have discussed a lot of times that there are rich dusty guys. There are the rich that he wants to dress up in the Gucci tracksuit, and he wants to have the Van Cleef and blah, 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 while he can't even get you a Pandora ring. So now that you've made your list of boundaries and standards, you are going to live by this list. If anybody is like, you know, giving you a red flag or something, that is not something that you can look past, because now it's in your list. Now you are being so much more aware and so much more strategic of the person that you pick. So after we have that, you are going to start working on the things that you're insecure about. If you're insecure about your skin, you're gonna go to a dermatologist, or you are gonna get a cleaner diet. You are going to do some research on what type of skin problem you have, what type of acne you have, what type of whatever, and you are going to take care of it as much as you can. If you have weight issues, you are gonna go on a calorie deficit. You're gonna start eating cleaner. You're gonna start getting your steps in. You're maybe gonna join a gym. You're going to do something about it, okay? I want you guys to realize that you literally have the control of your own life. Nobody else but you. You are your biggest project, and you should be putting, out of anybody else in the world, you should be putting more time and effort into yourself more than anything and anybody else in the world. Mostly in the situation where you do not have kids. You're gonna find your style. There are so many styling videos on TikTok. There's this lady whose videos always pop up. I don't know if I'm following her or not, but so many of her videos, she will bring in clients and be like, oh, this is how my client used to dress, and this is how she dresses now. And you can see the confidence in her clients. If you go through those videos, you don't have to get yourself a personal stylist. You don't need to pay somebody to style you. You yourself can go on TikTok. You can see what looks good on what body. You can find out what body type you have, and you can dress according to that. You can learn all of these things on TikTok. You can learn all of these things on YouTube. You can learn what colors look best on you, what silhouettes look best on you. Get educated on that, because that is going to make a huge difference on your confidence and the way that you look and the way people treat you. Again, if you do not have a passion, if you do not have a hobby, look for one. If you have a hobby and you have a passion, get back into it. Only will this help you get your mind off of things and off of people that you don't want to think about, but it will also open you up to an entire new group of people that you can become friends with, that you can create connections with, that you can hang out with. They can introduce you to do different things that you weren't used to before. You know, there are just so many positive things that a new hobby can bring into your life. I would also recommend you to make a ritual out of your morning and your nighttime routine. I want for you guys to see taking care of yourself as one of your favorite activities. Not something that you need to do, something that you have to do, but something that you love to do. Something that when you're at work, you cannot wait to get back home and take a nice shower and put on a nice mask and put on a lip oil and put on a, like, whatever it is that you need to do. I want you guys to see that as you time, something that you enjoy doing because you know that it's good for you. Another one, of course, in this situation, 1000%, get a vibrator. I would say do this for a few months. Do this for 2-3 months. Do not consider dating or meeting anybody within those months. Try to focus on yourself as much as you can. And when you are ready to start dating again, make sure that you are dating for marriage and for happiness. It has to be both. If you're dating for marriage, you're gonna meet a guy. You're gonna be like, okay, well, I'm dating for marriage. So if I'm dating this guy, that means I have to marry him because I'm dating for marriage, right? If this guy is a douchebag, if this guy is not respecting you, if this guy is not trying to commit, you are going to be stuck there, miserable, either begging for a ring or putting up with whatever he's doing to you because you're dating for marriage, right? Your goal is to get married. You don't care if you have a healthy marriage. You don't care if you have a happy marriage. You don't care if your husband is good or bad, because all you care about is just to be married. All you care about is a ring on your finger. That's about it, right? And I've had so many of these women, a lot of these women that date for marriage are unfortunately the ones that get disrespected at the altar, are unfortunately the ones that get their face shoved in the cake at their wedding. Why? Because they're dating for marriage. They're not dating for happiness or for respect or anything else like that. Sadly, a lot of these women might date for marriage because that is what their mothers did and what their mothers tell them. So they can see their mom being married to their dad and be miserable, but societally they will be successful because they're still married, right? These moms will also be the ones to tell their daughters that they cannot get divorced to an abusive or toxic husband because marriage is very important, right? So these are the people that date for marriage. And then we have the people that date for happiness, right? Great, you can date for happiness. But a lot of the times these women date for happiness, and turns out that the man that ends up making them happy is a man that does not want commitment with them. So yes, happiness is very important, but so is being legally married. And for the ones that are gonna come on this video and say not everybody wants to get married, marriage is just a piece of paper, blah, 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 blah. Well, so is money, right? If anything were to happen to this happily dating couple, if anything were to happen to the man and he was, and he was between life and death, she has no choice whether to say he lives or dies because they're not married. I feel like this whole dating for marriage with men that do not want commitment, when you as a woman do want commitment, by the way, this is not for the women that do not care or do not want commitment. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the women that do want commitment, that want to be happy in a relationship, but they find themselves being in a happy relationship with no commitment. Let me tell you that you can have both. You can date for both marriage and happiness. You can date for a happy, healthy marriage. Yes, you can have both. It's not just one or the other. You can have both. So I would recommend you guys to not date for marriage, not date for happiness, but instead date for marriage and happiness. Also, make sure that you're going no contact with all of your exes. You do not want to be associated with them. You do not want to be speaking to them. You want nothing to do with these people. Why? Because these people are a reflection of your past mistakes, and you just want to forget about them. You want to forget about them, and all you want to do is learn from these situations that they put you through. Another thing is for you to do all the things that you wanted him to do for you, for yourself. You wanted him to get you flowers? Go get yourself flowers. You wanted him to take you to Cancun? Take yourself to Cancun. You wanted him to buy you a certain dress? Go buy yourself that dress. You wanted him to take you to a fancy restaurant? Take yourself to the fancy restaurant. If you want someone else to do things for you, you have to do them for yourself first. You can do these things by yourself, or you can do these things with a girlfriend, with your sister, with your mom, somebody that you love. Why? Because you always wanted to have that experience with somebody that you loved, and you deserve to have that experience with somebody that you love. And it does not have to be him, it can be somebody else. And I can already tell you, like, the way this is going to heal you, the way that you're going to, like, let's say you beg this man to take you to Cancun for 4 years, right? And he never did. Being in Cancun by your own merit, once you're there, you're going to realize, wow, I didn't realize that I could do this myself. Why did I waste so much time begging this man to do this? As a matter of fact, I'm a lot happier being here by myself. If he would have been here with me, I probably wouldn't have had as much fun. And this will translate into other parts of your life. Also, I need you ladies to understand that not all men are like your last man. I have had so many girls that get done so dirty by their ex, and they meet a new guy that is great to them, so they decide to do this guy dirty because their ex did them dirty. This guy that literally has nothing to do with the old guy. Because these girls are so traumatized that they think, oh yeah, this next guy is going to do me the same way my ex did, so I might as well do it to him first. And then they end up losing the good guy, and they go back to the bad guys and the douchebags. You do not let what somebody put you through make you think that love isn't a thing out there. Don't let them make you a better person. Don't let them make you a person that looks to harm other people. Don't let them make you be the type of person that is going to create trauma for somebody else, just like they created trauma for you. There was this trend on TikTok that was like, oh, I used to be a lover girl, but now I walk these men like dogs, blah, 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 blah. Personally, I don't care how wrong I am done. I'm always gonna be a lover girl. Like, nobody's ever gonna take that away from me, because that is something that I enjoy. I love loving. And I am not going to stop doing something that I love because of what somebody else did, mostly if it wasn't even their fault. Lastly, if you're over 25 and you're going through a breakup, just like the advice I gave the high school and the college girl, look for new skills, educate yourself, work on yourself, and keep growing every single day. Lastly, this one is to the girl in her mid-20s that has not broken up yet, but that wants to break up. The only reason why she doesn't is because she is financially dependent on him. So, I know that my content is about not dating broke guys, not dating guys that are gonna make you go 50-50 when you don't want to. And I feel like a lot of people have the misconception that when I say these things, I'm at the same time telling you to completely rely on a man. Just because I'm telling you to have a provider man does not mean I'm telling you to stop making money altogether. That is not how it is, and that is not how it has to be. A lot of women think that in order to have a provider man, you cannot make any money, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can have a provider man and you can make your own money that you keep for yourself. So I want to make that very clear. But if you were in the type of relationship that he provided everything and you took care of him but didn't have an income for yourself, or I wouldn't tell you to, just completely walk off and leave him. I think you need to be smart when it comes to these things. I've seen so many TikToks of women being like, well, we're breaking up, so now, I'm living in my car and da 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 da. I feel like you need to be very strategic and you need to plan out an exit plan. You need to have an exit plan. I got a message not that long ago about a girl saying like, hey, you know, I'm financially dependent on my boyfriend and he's been like shady and stuff like that. He wasn't being violent or anything like that. Like he wasn't being dangerous, but he was being very like shady and just like disrespectful, and she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. So she was like, hey, I'm coming to you because a lot of people are telling me things that I don't like to hear. So I'm trying to see if you can give me like a different perspective. She did not tell me what people were telling her, but I gave her this advice and I was like, hey, I would recommend for you to, you know, kind of, I guess, put up with this for 2 or 3 months more. During these 2 or 3 months, look for apartments, save up money, sell some things that you have in order to you know, save up, have something in your savings in order to be able to put down a deposit for an apartment, in order for you to, you know, get everything straight, to have an exit plan. I would hate for you guys to not have an exit plan and literally just leave and put yourself in danger. That is not what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to be able to, during these times when you are planning to get out, for you to look for a job, for you to look for an apartment, for you to look for a place to live, for you to set up yourself for success after you break up with him. Again, this advice does not go for the women that are in dangerous situations, that are getting beat up, that could potentially be harmed very, very badly by these men. In this situation, go seek out a shelter, go with your family, go with your friends, do whatever it is that you have to do to get away from this man. Now, if you are in a relationship with somebody that you no longer want to be in a relationship with, but you are financially dependent on him, then that is when I would recommend for you to have an exit plan. And this is what I was telling that girl that messaged me, and she messaged me back and she said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Everybody that I've been talking to about this tells me to literally just leave, to go live in my car outside of a Walmart because I deserve better, blah, blah. Yes, I agree that you deserve better. And because of this, I think you deserve to have an exit plan to where when you get out, you have a place to go, you have something saved up, you have a job, you have already a life that's set up, and you don't have to start all over while you're basically homeless. Have a strategy, have an exit plan, and really be strategic about how you're going to get out of this. But ladies, remember that breakups do not need to be sad. I had this girl that set me down and she told me, I think my boyfriend is never going to ask me to marry him because he is extremely like nonchalant, sort of. And she was like, I could literally never see him getting on one knee and asking me to be his wife. And when they broke up, I was like, dude, you should be so happy. Like, you can now have that moment of pulling up to a place and it being covered in flowers and seeing the man of your dreams being on one knee because he wants you in his life for the rest of his life. Something that this dude would have never done for you. And she was like, oh my gosh, you are so right. And I was like, honestly, and I'm already like excited, not only for you, but I'm excited for the guy that's going to get to court you, that's going to get to know you, that's going to get to spend time around you, because you're such a wonderful person. Same thing to you. There is a guy out there that is literally praying for a girl like you. Just like how you think that there are no good guys that are handsome and that are financially stable and that are responsible and that want to be fathers and that want to be good people and that are providers, there are a lot of men out there that don't know there are women like you out there. Women with standards, women that are beautiful, women that take care of themselves, women that are feminine, women that want marriage, women that want to be great mothers and great wives. Like, you guys just need to find each other. The thing is that the dusty people are so loud, so loud, that you think that's all there is because that's all you see online. But let me tell you, there is not. Go touch some grass, literally. Go meet real people in real life. Go make friends that are going to introduce you to guys that they know and they know are good guys. Go to events where there are successful people that have morals and have standards and have boundaries, and there are so many things that you can learn from them. Like I said, you have the control of your life. You're an adult. It does not matter what happened before. You are able to control your life and your destiny. Mostly, literally mostly now. Now. When you are single, you have the room to attract the man of your dreams. Right now, it's your time. If you were still dating that guy, you would not have that opportunity. And remember that every time you don't settle, the universe rewards you with a smarter, more respectful, sexier, more mature man than before. I'm proof of that, and a lot of ladies are proof of that. You're next. Let me know what else you guys want to watch. I really enjoyed being back here on YouTube. If you guys haven't followed me on social media, my TikTok is by Michelle Diaz and my Instagram is Dream Girl University. I will see you guys on my next video. I will be doing advice, beauty, fashion, and vlogs on this channel. So if you guys like to see any of that, make sure you subscribe and you like this video. And let me know how you handled your breakups before and how having standards has rewarded you in life with a better man. So other ladies can see those comments and know that it can happen to them as well. I will see you guys on my next video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye.